Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the royals. We end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 181. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra, I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we were off longer than we planned. I caught COVID the week after we recorded, and it really affected my voice for a while too. You might be able to hear it a little bit still, but I'm doing better now, so that's good. It was rough, man. I had a fever and was like so tired, but I'm better.
Yeah, it was bad for you, and I got sick right around my birthday.
Like a month ago.
I was sick for like more than a week.
Oof. I'm sorry to hear that.
In case anyone is wondering, I got the COVID booster. After I got sick, I got the COVID booster, and it was fine. Like, that was the easiest booster I've had so far.
Okay.
I got the Moderna one.
Nice.
My arm didn't even hurt. But I had the flu shot before I got sick, and that knocked me on my ass. That was the hardest flu shot I've ever had.
Oh, flu shots are rough. I had put off getting the booster this year. Yeah, I'll probably get it towards the end of the year.
Yeah, like if you've just had COVID, you shouldn't get one for like a month or two.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was any big deal.
That's good. That's excellent. I got COVID, I think, at Beetlejuice. It was not worth it. I did not like the remake at all. Or the sequel. But I'm a 90s girl. I love the original. So, yeah, just wear a mask if you're going to places with a lot of people. Like, it's not fun to get it, even if you're vaccinated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I watched Perfect Couple, and so did you, on Netflix, right, with Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, it was cute. It was so obviously like trying to be kind of an Agatha Christie type of story.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cute because I love Agatha Christie adaptations. Yeah, I just liked it. I thought Nicole Kidman, she was so clearly just having fun. She didn't even have a consistent accent.
She didn't, but I was like blown away by her acting. Like there was one scene where I don't want to spoil anything, but she was like, I'm done with everybody. I don't want to. And it felt so relatable to me as a woman of a certain age. Like, fuck everybody. I was like, yeah, all right.
Liev, his character wasn't all that well written, but I think he was just like, fuck it. You know, it's like whatever, 8 weeks in Cape Cod.
You believed he was that guy. Like when he had to do his big scene, you were like, oh my God. I was like, he can act. I believed he was that guy. It was really well done. I had a good time watching it. And little Dakota Fanning, man. Ooh.
Yeah, she was great.
I hated her. And I was like, if I hate somebody, they're a good actress.
I love Megan Fahey. I think she's great.
Oh, she was really good.
And she was on, what's that show? The one where everyone's on vacation.
Oh, she's on the White Lotus.
Yeah, the White Lotus.
Yeah.
She was on that, and she was great in that, too.
So I would recommend that. I thought it was fun. Although there was some filler stuff. Like, this is the problem with Netflix and all these shows that need 1 million episodes. Like, you know, they could have cut a whole episode worth of material and it would have been fine.
There was tons of, like, unnecessary filler. And, like, there were so many points I was like, is this supposed to be happening over one weekend?
Yeah, there were dumb parts to it. That's one thing I really dislike about Netflix is they just drag it out, where you know there's the crux of an excellent story there, but they just make it so long. But that was a fun show.
Oh, and I also watched, speaking of Netflix, I watched the latest season 4 of Emily in Paris.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. I love that stupid show. I just like the characters. I don't particularly, want good things for them, but I like seeing their adventures. I'm not like super invested in any of their journeys.
Yeah.
But it is just such stupid, fun fluff.
All right, that's a high praise. I like that recommendation.
Yeah. And she goes to Rome, and I loved that
okay.
Emily in Paris went to Rome.
Adorable. Maybe I'll give it a chance. I never got into Sex and the City. Maybe I'll give it a chance, though.
Oh, I love Sex and the City, even though, it's problematic as fuck, and a lot of those stories don't hold up, but still. It was a great show for its time.
Even when it aired, I was like, eh. That's how I felt about Seinfeld, too.
Well, even as you're watching it, especially in the later seasons, you're like, no, Carrie and Big, they deserve each other. It's not like they belong together. They deserve each other because they're both such assholes.
Right. All right, let's move on to the royals. Right after our last podcast, Kate and William and their kids and some of her family were in this video where she was announcing that she was cancer-free. And it was very bizarre. It was like sepia toned. They were in the woods, like hanging out on a bunch of stacked logs. And like, I don't know. It was like a shampoo commercial, one of the British commentators said.
Like, I thought this reference was too specific for, like, international readers, but it looked like a pharmaceutical commercial here in America. Like,
yes, exactly. Where people are living their best lives and it's so contrived.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's for something major. It's not like, oh, just try an antidepressant. It's like, no, if you have this serious condition, try this pharmaceutical.
Usually it's eczema lately or psoriasis or something. Yeah, that's exactly right. A pharmaceutical commercial. And like for once the British media was like, no, that's not it, Kate.
Yeah.
They really
told
her it was wrong. And like they reported that Charles didn't like it, and she was compared unfavorably to Meghan. Meghan knows not to lay it on that thick. Like she's schmaltzy, but she's not that dumb about it.
Yeah, they were trying so hard to like point out to Kate that she had done something wrong and that she had struck the wrong tone, and they're like, it was like something Meghan would have done. Meghan treated everything with a lot of like compassion and delicacy. Like when she talked about her miscarriage, she spoke about that with a lot of delicacy. And Kate was like driving around in a Land Rover talking about how she's done with chemotherapy, and then she was rolling around on the beach with William while her kids watched.
She was, it's hyperbolic, but yeah, she wasn't rolling around on the beach. But they were.
No, she was.
Was she?
Watch
Okay.
the video again.
All right. Please don't make me do that. Please, no. I have to see the screenshots regularly for our job, and I'm like, no. The way William looks at her with that pained look in his eye. Oh, he's like grimacing, but he's trying to smile.
But that's how he has always looked at her for years now. And like, I can't believe that she wanted to memorialize that in a special video.
And they said it was her idea, which makes so much sense because they blamed all the Franken photos on her, and then they blamed this commercial on her. And I buy it. I've been saying all along. Yeah, it probably was her idea.
Well, I don't think the Franken photos were her idea. Well, I mean, like the big one for Mother's Day. I don't think that was her idea. But yeah, this video was definitely her aesthetic, if that makes sense.
Cheesy
That's how she
AF.
wants to portray herself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As this very retro, I don't even know, like pharmaceutical commercial where she's rolling around on the beach and walking through leaves and groping a butterfly. I don't know.
So we got all these stories after that, like, we're not going to see Kate for a while. Like, we won't see her again until next March, maybe. She'll do something then. And then we heard that she went to a ballet performance, although there were no pictures, and that she's been having private meetings. So we're supposed to, like, clap or whatever. But just this week, Kate and William did a nice thing. They helped grant a 16-year-old cancer patient's wish to photograph an investiture ceremony. Yeah, I could normally say that, but not when I'm being recorded. And that was really nice. It's good that they did that. That's exactly what they should be doing. And, we know they were motivated by the fact that Harry's been getting a lot of press and been doing a lot of events, but, they did it. They should do this more.
Yeah, I think they were motivated by Harry's brief presence in London. I also think that, and I pointed this out in the story, like the comments from Buckingham Palace about the video, they were very pointed of like, you shouldn't be spending all of your time and money and energy on this bullshit, like, making this stupid fucking video. You should actually be getting out there and meeting with cancer patients. So this was like their sort of answer to Charles.
Or they could have highlighted the NHS providers,
Exactly.
highlighted
they could have
the doctors and nurses and people who work, in the hospitals, or, highlighted the cancer patients, interviewed people, shared somebody else's stories rather than their own vague, glossy, fake image.
They could have done anything other than center themselves, but that's their whole thing.
Which people have been telling them for years.
And like, think about when Charles, like, quote unquote, came back to work after, I guess, he had several months where he was like adjusting to chemotherapy and he really wasn't doing much other than like doing private meetings. Like one of his first events was visiting a cancer center and like sitting with cancer patients.
Yeah.
I liked that he did that.
That was very nice, and he could relate and he talked to people from his heart about what he went through,
Mm-hmm.
So last week, Prince Harry was in New York, and he, did a series of appearances and events. And he was also on the Tonight Show with Fallon to tour the Haunted Maze there. I thought that was so much fun. And then over the weekend, he was in and out of London really fast to attend the Well Child Awards. He just went to that for 24 hours. He was in the UK for 24 hours, then he dipped right out, didn't even see his dad. Good for him.
I loved how busy he was in New York. I think he also did some Better Up work, and we're about to find out, like, there's a new video, something where he like did a conversation.
Oh, okay.
With a basketball player. Yeah, I loved the Tonight Show to Nightmare video with him and Fallon. I just like to point out, I didn't do a story about this, but the British reporters, the royal reporters, were really upset about that video.
Ugh.
They didn't get it, or they didn't want to get it. They're like, well, why is he doing it? Well, why is he acting scared? He's a veteran of war, I thought. Why
Are you
would he
kidding
act
me?
like that?
That's ridiculous. It might be that they don't get Halloween. Like, they don't understand what Halloween is, too.
Cameron Walker of GB News brought up the fact that Harry's a veteran and he shouldn't be scared in a haunted house.
That's despicable.
Isn't it?
They're really grasping at straws for that. Wow.
I was so upset by that, but I was like, no, I shouldn't give that any energy.
Good for you.
Because they're just bitter. They don't like the fact that, oh, he's human. He's doing something that Michelle Obama would do with Fallon.
Yeah, it was fun. And it's the season for that. And Harry is in Lesotho right now. He visited with his friend Prince Siso, who he founded the Santa Ballet charity with. I wanted to quote you because you really summed it up of how the press has been treating him and what he's been doing. And you wrote, Harry has taken more tours than all of the Left Behind royals combined this year. Not only that, his tours are well received and welcomed across the board. Every single time Harry goes anywhere, people are reminded of the fact that his family was too stupid, bitter, jealous, and racist to keep him.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And they keep showing their hand. So when Harry was in New York, they started saying that Harry and Meghan must be having relationship problems because Meghan didn't go with him. We heard that she was sick. Like, she could have had COVID, or maybe she wanted to stay home with the kids, whatever. She doesn't have to go everywhere with them. And then they started running all these stories about Meghan being mean and Meghan being a bully. And it was the same old play they've been doing for years, which is just completely false and bullshit.
We got one specific story after 7 years. We got one specific story that she made a florist cry in 2018. It would have been in the lead up to the wedding. And people like actually pulled out some receipts that her actual wedding florist went on the record saying that Meghan's a lovely person.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know who made who cry, but it wasn't Meghan, and it wasn't that one particular florist. No, I mean, obviously there were probably more than one florist working at that wedding, I mean, and still, it wasn't even like a named source saying it. It was like, no, I heard someone said that she made a florist cry. She screamed at them for 30 minutes.
Real quick, Chandra, I'm looking at the story about the florist. Nobody said she made the lady cry.
No, they say that she screamed at him for a half hour.
Yeah, who cares? It's a secondhand thing, like you said, right?
Yeah, exactly. And no one believes that you would just stay on the phone with someone screaming for 30 minutes. And that is not Meghan whatsoever. I buy that, like, that she would be terse or a little bit curt with someone.
Yeah, she probably just asked for clarification. Yeah.
And then she would probably cry and apologize. Be like, I'm so sorry I talked to you like that.
That's the type of person she seems like, yeah. This is the old playbook they've been running against Meghan. Oh, she's a narcissist because we say so. Yeah.
The lack of specifics, even after this long, after this many years, is very telling. What they choose to parse of, I wouldn't really say that she's a narcissist, but she has some psycho tendencies. You know, oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, it's the classic Fox News talking point about her. It's pretty basic, and all they do is repeat the same lie over and over again with no details to back it up.
Yeah. She did push back on it with the Us Weekly cover story.
Yeah.
That was last week on Thursday the 3rd.
Yeah, and that was good because people went on the record to say, no, Meghan's lovely. She sends people gifts. She's thoughtful. She inquires about them and remembers, details about their families. Like, we know this about her and Harry. We've seen this for years. Everybody who worked with her on Suits vouches for what a lovely person she is. And, like, how can they try to make this lie stick? Like, they can just repeat it over and over again, I guess.
And then the reaction to the Us Weekly story was also hilariously unhinged because they got upset that people went on the record. And they're like, how could they publish something so saccharine, so sweet, without providing the other side to it? I was like, Jesus Christ, these people are going on the record. They're saying, this is my name. This is what I think of Meghan. All you have is unnamed sources and courtiers with agendas.
Exactly. It feels like a rinse and repeat story. But at least this time, the Sussex's side is pushing back. And, of course, they have people who vouch for them.
Yeah. All right. So the whole reason why the British media picked that up again was because the Hollywood Reporter did a story on September 12th that was all about, like, their American sources in Archwell are telling them that Meghan is a monster, that she's Duchess difficult. And it sounded so
British.
It sounded so British. It sounded like they were just rinsing and repeating all of the circa 2018 bullshit. Yeah. And I was just like, but why would they say that they're getting it from American sources? It doesn't make any sense unless the Hollywood Reporter is, like, compromised or they're just blatantly lying. But for what reason? I don't get that. I still don't get it. I don't understand why the Hollywood Reporter would go out of their way to lie about Meghan in particular in that specific way.
Well, the royal family is really powerful. I don't know enough, but I would assume that they have probably some reporters or people in THR that are from England or that have ties to the British tabloids.
Yeah, and that could be.
Because that happened to the Washington Post. I mean, I don't know what's going on at THR. I could look up more and be more knowledgeable about it, certainly, but...
Yeah, and people are doing deep dives on, like, THR leadership and ownership and editorship. And, like, that kind of makes my eyes cross because I'm just like, but what is the reason? Like, this is a trade paper. I know that, like, it's past hands and that they're probably very conservative and Anglophile editors. But, like, it's a trade paper. You're covering Hollywood. Why the fuck are you mimicking British smears on an American woman living in Montecito? Yeah, we're not going to, like, figure this out right here. No. But it's still an open question to me. And I've yet to hear a really good reason for why that story happened.
Yeah, maybe it'll come out. Hopefully it will. The Sussex squad is like the Swifties, man. They'll figure it out. So while Harry was getting a lot of press. William came out and started doing stuff too. And this week he went to this London Air Ambulance charity to pose in front of some new helicopters with David Beckham. And that's great, you know, and then we get to hearing about how Victoria Beckham doesn't like Meghan, whatever. And then William also visited a company called Enzo where he like tried to change a tire and they're like, oh, we can change a tire. What a, you know,
what a brilliant future king. And he couldn't even do it. He needed help. I mean, I needed help to change my tire as well. So I'm not
Fair
judging.
enough. I can't either. I got AAA. I cannot change a tire, but yeah.
But yeah, the Beckham thing is completely weird. They've been trying to make the Beckhams are at war with the Sussexes happen for so long. It's another thing where I guess the message is to David and not to Harry. The message is to David saying, if you want a knighthood, you can't show friendliness with Harry and Meghan whatsoever.
Yeah, you better get in
he's
line.
like, all right, sure, whatever. And he shows up for William and he shows up for King Charles now too. Like he's an ambassador for one of Charles's things.
They tried poaching Chef Andres and he wasn't having it.
Oh, yeah, that was like a really funny little like Sussex Squad specific story because we knew what was going on there.
Yeah.
Like, let's just take a second to talk about the Chef Andre thing. So,
okay,
this happened, I guess, in early September. Earthshot announced that Chef Jose Andre was going to be on a new board member for Earthshot. And the British tabloids made a huge deal about how William poached Chef Jose and Harry's going to be so mad and blah, blah, blah. You know, of course, it's the same old playbook of William stalks Harry and everyone around Harry and tries to poach them, quote unquote.
right.
And like they made such a big fucking deal about how Harry's going to be so mad about this. And then Jose Andre and Harry saw each other at the Clinton Global Initiative and they hugged and they posed for photos together and they're fine.
Exactly. William is ridiculous. And his newest thing is like, look, I can wear a beard better than Harry. No, you look like a tool. You always look like a tool, but it's even worse now. He looked better, clean shaven. He's got that nasty, patchy beard. Like,
I don't get the beard. I don't understand if he can't grow a full beard because it looks like he's trimming it and like he likes the way that sort of like 5 o'clock or actually more like a 10 o'clock shadow looks rather than a full beard. Or maybe he just can't grow one. But whatever it is, it's disgusting.
Yeah, he does not look attractive. He looks less attractive than normal.
And he's lost a lot of weight.
He has.
Very few people have been talking about that. But like over the past 6 months especially. And he's lost a lot of muscle weight too.
He might be on the divorce diet. Like, look at Ben Affleck. A lot of dudes, when they break up, they get real skinny.
Because they're going back on the dating market?
Yeah, or they think they are, like...
Well, there was this point, I guess it was like during the pandemic, where William gained some noticeable weight, in his face especially. Like, all of a sudden, he had, like, little chipmunk cheeks, and I don't know, he just looked like he filled out overnight. Now it's all thinned out. Everything is thinned out.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on him. He looked better with a little more weight and with a clean shaven.
You think he should shave everything? I do.
His head, too?
Totally cue ball?
I do, but he has to build muscle or something if he wants to be... I feel bad objectifying him, but he's not a good person, so it's fine. If he wants to work the divorced dad look, he's got to build some muscle or something.
And take better care of his skin.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the comments of the week.
All right, my comment of the week is from, Tom Parker Bowles is currently promoting his book. It's a cookbook, part cookbook, part history book about like royal food and stuff. And he's so clearly using his royal connections and trying to sell this fucking book. And he keeps talking about his mother, Queen Camilla, and his stepfather, King Charles.
Yeah.
And he made this very like sycophantic comment about how King Charles is genuinely the loveliest man in the world. in the comment section, there are a lot of really interesting comments about like, yeah, Charles is weirdly so much closer to his stepkids than he is to his two sons. And sevenblue says, unfortunately, lots of men leave their children with their ex-wife and become a good father to their new wife's children. Charles is no different just because he is royal. I don't necessarily think he's acting like a father figure. He just gives them whatever they want because Camilla asks for it. I thought that was very insightful.
Yeah, it is.
He's such a garbage father to Harry and William.
He is. And Camilla encourages that and fostered that estrangement.
Exactly. This has all been her plan. I believe that a core part of her plan was driving a wedge between William and Harry, even more so than driving a wedge between Charles and his sons.
That is very insightful. I didn't even think of that.
Think of like the power that Diana's sons could have had if they had ganged up against her.
If they had ganged up against Camilla.
Yeah.
She's maniacal.
I believe that Camilla wanted Harry and William estranged, and she's always wanted that.
Yeah, but you're right.
And Charles is fine with that too, because he doesn't want his sons ganging up against him.
And his mistress, or his new wife.
Yeah.
New. It's been like...
his mistress wife, whatever she is.
It's been a long time. I can't stand that woman. She's so nasty. I always think of her spreading fucking COVID at that cooking event.
That was like 3 years ago, though.
I know, but she's
gross.
an evil bitch. I never forget shit like that.
There was a photo of her in Scotland, I guess last weekend, where I think she's just trying to make an adjustment to her dress or her coat or something, but it looks like she's itching her vag.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Send me that link. I'll put it in the post for this podcast. I think she was itching her vag. It looked like it. She was like smiling like it too.
Like, oh yeah, that's the spot.
Oh, gross. Oh, nasty. Oh. All right. My comment of the week is on the post about Olivia Nuzzi filing a complaint with the FBI against her ex-fiance, Ryan Lizza. I think you buried the lead on that one because you stuck it at the end that there's like 3 other women. I mean, everyone's reporting that angle, so I get why you went with a different one. But I was like, well, that's pretty interesting that there were 3 other women.
Well, they weren't named. Like,
okay.
I would have devoted a whole story to it if they had come out and like given an interview to the New York Times. Right now, it's just kind of sketchy. Oh, they went to Mediaite or they went to the Daily Beast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for something more to be confirmed before we really talk about that. But I totally believe that Robert Kennedy has been fucking whoever he meets.
He's so nasty.
I think that's his thing.
He needs a nickname like you call Sean Penn ham face. We need something for...
I'll try to think of one. But like, I mean, brainworm is right there.
Brainworm, yeah, brainworm's pretty good. That's decent. So Pinkosaurus said on that post, guys like RFK Jr. always have a secret harem, and I'm sure they all thought they were special. He's just playing the numbers, hitting on everyone to see who will respond. There was an article about how she knew he did the arm/hand grab with a different female reporter who thought it was gross. Nutsy knew and still thought she was the special one. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Those guys hit on everybody and see who bites.
And, I mean, I've just never seen a promising reporter with, like, that kind of high-profile job blow up her life that spectacularly bad. Like, what a crash out.
People who follow her say she's mega adjacent and she's been apologetic for that side for a long time.
I mean, that's her career path going forward is like just going hard right and being a like blonde Fox News type. Yeah. But like, Jesus Christ, still like what a crash out to put everything on the line for Robert Kennedy Jr.
And she was young too, despite her looks, you know. I thought she was 40-something, but she's like 32 or something.
She's 31.
She's 31, okay. No. I hope she's lying.
And brainworm is 70.
Gross. I get like your dad's age, but not your grandpa's age. Like, please. Brainworm. All right. Well, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks, bitches.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.